45, no, not even 45, $49,000 in a single trade, bro. A single trade. I'm gonna break down everything that happened. Pretty crazy day. You guys saw in the TikTok live. You guys join the live streams. Make sure you guys join the live streams. I stream over on TikTok. I took this Take Profit live. I'll put the live recording at the end of this video, but pretty crazy, bro. Um, yeah, I don't have a big. I don't have big words right now. Like last week, I took out a $25,000 payout, and actually, I blew the five accounts yesterday. I blew the five accounts yesterday. I passed five more yesterday. Blew them and passed them the same day. Um, and I blew them. I told my TikTok, I'm sorry I didn't upload a video here, but I told everybody on the other social media. I just feel like it's a lot more convenient because I'm already live streaming on TikTok over there, so I just tell everybody there. Um, I want to let you guys know today as well, but I did blow those accounts previously. The ones I took out $25,000 on, I blew them, but the same day I bought five and traded them during New York, and I hit for 1,500 on them. And then yesterday during Asia session, I ended up passing them. So these are actually five fresh XFAs. And I was just able to size in. Like I said, you guys remember that last video. Size in when you see your setups. This is what happens when you size in, and when you size in. If you see your setups, this is exactly what happens, bro. A $9,968 day times five accounts. That's another $25,000 payout next week. My farming winning days, bro. And I have class in literally an hour. 2 hours I have class. Okay? Desensitize yourself to the fact that anybody in this world can do this shit, bro. Anyone. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what you do in life. You can do anything. Okay? Desensitize yourself to the fact that's possible. And then like I said in my last video, desensitize yourself to the fact that these days are possible by sizing into your trades. So I was able to catch 250 points for a 1 to 10 RR ratio, risking 25 points. Now, I expect to hit this? Low key, I thought my bias was on point today. My bias was extremely on point today. My take profit was also really nice as we're about to reverse pretty cleanly off this now. So coming into the day, first off, I want to let y'all know, big shout out to my boy Anthony. Well, how many days has it been since he's been in this 1-on-1? It's been no longer than a week. I think it's just at a week, around just at a week, and he already passed his evaluation. Already passed his evaluation a week of being in the 1-on-1. And I'm letting you guys know the same setup happens over and over again. So big shout out Anthony for passing his account. And if you guys are interested in learning the model and learning the system, I'll put the link to the 1-on-1 down below. But aside from that, I think we should get into the trade recap. So, like I said, on a higher time frame, sorry, someone was texting me. On a higher time frame, my daily bias was pretty correct too. I said leaning bullish today, however, on a shorter time frame, I think we'll come sweep the lows first, depending on how we react to that 15-minute Farai gap. This was a 15-minute gap that I was talking about right here. This 15-minute Farai gap, because I thought that it would inverse it, honestly. And so that's why I thought we'd sweep these lows and then head back higher. But we didn't end up doing that, which was even better. We ended up respecting that gap. And then I said we want to see the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle close as a doji, or even better, it ended up closing as, you know, a displacement candle on the 4-hour, just a bullish displacement candle, which is even better for our bullish bias. And so if that happens, that 4-hour low is going to be protected, and then we should see some decent buys. Bang, 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 shit happens exactly how we expected it. So this 15-minute gap, like I said, we respect it. That's our point of entry. That's exactly when we should say, okay, buys are about to print. Because this 15-minute gap is holding. 4-hour looks extremely bullish. 1-hour gap, we have just inversed. Now we zoom to the 1 minute. We zoom to the 1 minute. And this should have been the earlier entry I should have and would have taken. Sorry, it just cut out because it didn't have enough space, so I had to just delete some shit. But like I said, this should have been my original entry, but it just wasn't inside the macro. That's why I waited. But this entry here is basically tied closely to this one here. So the reason why you should have entered here was because obviously that 1 minute, we're delivering out of a 15-minute gap. We get a 1 minute doji candle, and we end up getting that displacement candle that we always look for, and that always happens. I'm going to give you guys another example of this that happened literally again this session. We had a displacement candle after this 1 minute. We don't completely inverse it the first time, but by the way that the 1 minute candle doji forms, and by the way that this displacement candle closes, this is a strong sign that the next 1 minute candle will probably end up inversing this 1 minute gap. And so that should have been like my entry here, or even after just the macro starts, I just should have just pressed click buy. But I wanted a little more confirmation. So after this bearish candle, I wanted that next 1 minute candle to break that bearish body, just to kind of tell us that our bullish continuation is going to follow. Like, we're still going to be bullish, right? And so after that happens, I kind of wait and see what the next 1 minute candle does, and ends up respecting this 1 minute order block, kind of like the body of that bearish candle, and doesn't break that 1 minute candle low. So again, just stacking confluences and making sure that this entry here is valid. Just making sure that my original entry here and that our bullish bias is correct. Okay, so I'm just making sure that that's correct. Same thing happens again. This next 1 minute candle breaks the body of this previous bearish candle. Next 1 minute candle kind of retests that body, and I'm like, okay, we've done that already once. We should be continuing the trend. So I hit buy there, and then I'm not too worried about this intermediate high. I did actually end up going break even, but I wasn't too worried about that. I went break even as soon as I took this high. I went break even extremely early, just in case the fact that we would take that high and then start reversing. But I wasn't that worried, because I know, like, I'm extremely bullish today. We have NWOG that we haven't filled yet, New Week's opening gap, and we just have a perfect AMD market maker buy model playing out for us on a higher time frame. I am very bullish today, and so I wasn't too worried that we would reverse off this intermediate high. And so yeah, that's how I enter that trade there. And then just keeps playing out from there, bro. It just keeps playing out, and the reason why I took my take profit here was because it's -1 standard deviation level. And you anchor that by this low, this high, this lower low, higher high. So we mark that high out and that low out. So that's basically what you do, mark that low and that high. You mark it out, -1, we hit that shit perfectly. That's a perfect TP, boys. That's a perfect TP. We hit that shit perfectly. And then guess what happens? Again, right? Like I said, we have a Doge candle, displacement candle, right? Look what happens. Paired with this higher time frame level, if we go onto the 5 or the 15 minute, 15 minute looks, I guess, a little better. On this 15 minute, what do we get? We got a Doge candle, and then we displace. Now, it's a little bit different because it's on a higher time frame, but same thing happens. I still really have this Jewish star on my phone. I was on stream. I was on stream, and they were telling me to put up like the Jewish star or something so I could hit TP faster, which it worked. But yeah, like I said, Doge candle forms. It's like the same thing, bro. Whenever a Doge candle forms after like a sweep or compared with like a level or out of a 15-minute, 1 hour, or 4 hour per value gap, there's a chance it's more likely that we're going to reverse. So, yeah, that's that. That was a trade, bro. That's $49,000 in 1 day. 1 freaking day, bro. It's pretty crazy to think about. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten the payout yet. I'll stack winning days obviously for next week. And I just always think back when this stuff happens. I always think back to what if I stopped? What if I stopped that night? When I just felt the lowest of my low. What if I thought that trading wasn't for me and I ended up stopping? And I'm so glad that I was able to talk through it with God that night before I went to bed, and then I was able to show up the very next morning. I'm so grateful for that. That's why I feel like I'm such a strong believer now too, is because he technically changed my life. He changed my life, bro. If I didn't have anybody to talk to, if I was just so bitter and so sour at myself and so frustrated, I definitely would have quit, bro. But there was somebody at least that I could talk to. I could talk to him and ask him for help. And so that helped me get up the next day and just hop on my computer and see what presented itself. Despite if I won or lost that day, I don't remember. But I was able to get up the next day and show up. And so that continued my habit of showing up until one day, boom, and then leads to the next, and now I'm here, bro. You guys can look at all the past videos of how bad I was struggling, how stressed I was. Even the videos don't really show it, but I was stressing out, man. I was stressing. I still have some personal videos on my phone, where I'm just talking to it, and I'm really, really stressed out, bro. So I get where you are, bro. But just trust me, shit plays out, man. Shit plays out. Anyone can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. I'm as normal as it gets. Just keep that shit in mind, okay? So I appreciate you guys watching. I don't know if I'm going to post as much trade weekends next week because I'm going to be stacking winning days. Unless I somehow have a decent day, then I'll see what happens. But it's going to be pretty boring for the next week in terms of trading. So I'm going to be focused on more of my students and helping them pass accounts, helping them get payouts. So if you guys are interested, like I said, in learning and trading with me one-on-one, I'll put the link in the description. But other than that, I appreciate you guys as always. Keep God in your life. Keep faith in yourself when you're close and loved ones around you. And yeah, I love you guys as always. Appreciate y'all as always. God bless and have a very safe rest of y'all's day.